7 laws you might be breaking as an immigrant in the United States now that Trump is in office. The immigrants struggle in a changing America. When Donald Trump was elected president, it was clear that his administration was going to bring a shift in how the United States treated immigrants, particularly those who were in the country illegally. Since then, policies and rhetoric surrounding immigration have grown more complex, creating a minefield for immigrants who were once able to live with some semblance of peace. If you're an immigrant in the United States, it's possible you're unknowingly breaking laws, facing challenges, and navigating an increasingly hostile environment. You might not even realize that certain actions once considered acceptable could now be seen as violations under current policies. So what are these potential violations, and how can you as an immigrant take steps to protect yourself and stay informed in an era of shifting immigration laws and policies? In this video, we will explore 7 laws that many immigrants in the United States could be breaking under the Trump administration, and we are going to cover how these laws impact you and how you can avoid the consequences of these unintentional violations. But most importantly, we will provide a solution, in other words, practical steps you can take to protect your future and that of your family. The first law you could potentially be breaking is remaining in the United States beyond your visa's expiration date. Under the Trump administration, enforcement of U.S. immigration laws has become stricter, and staying in the country beyond your visa's expiration is now one of the easiest ways immigrants can find themselves in violation of the law. While it may have been easier to overstay your visa in previous years, doing so can now result in severe consequences, including being barred from re-entering the United States for years or even permanently. This is because the Trump administration has consistently pushed for the enforcement of policies that penalize visa overstays harshly, with an emphasis on increasing deportations. According to U.S. immigration laws, if you stay beyond the authorized period of your visa, you are in violation of federal immigration statutes. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security keeps a close eye on these violations, and overstaying your visa is recorded in your immigration record. This puts you at risk of detention, deportation, and future entry bans. Is there a solution? If you're in the United States on a visa, make sure to track its expiration date carefully. If you believe your visa status will expire soon, consider seeking an extension or applying for a change of status well in advance. Also, be sure to carry documentation that shows your attempts to maintain legal status if questioned by authorities. If you've already overstayed, consult with an immigration attorney who can help you explore options to resolve your situation. Number 2, working without authorization. For years, working without proper authorization in the U.S. has been a concern for many immigrants. However, under the Trump administration, this violation has become a focal point of immigration enforcement. The administration has cracked down on unauthorized employment, and it has bolstered efforts to increase raids on businesses that employ undocumented workers. When immigrants are caught working without legal authorization, the consequences can be severe: detention, deportation, and even criminal charges for employers. So what is the solution? If you are working without the proper paperwork, now is the time to address the issue. You should either apply for work authorization, or if that is not possible, consider other avenues, such as legal counsel, to explore ways to adjust your status. If you're employed by a company, check to see whether they have verified that your employment documents are in order through E-Verify, a government program that checks the legal work status of employees. If you have any concerns about the possibility of deportation due to your work status, reach out to us and we will be happy to help, and we will be more than happy to help you. Number 3, not reporting changes in address or employment to U.S. Immigration Services. It is easy to overlook the requirement to report changes to your address or employment status to USCIS, especially for immigrants who have had a relatively low profile or little contact with immigration authorities. However, under the Trump administration, enforcement has become more rigorous, and failing to update your information could result in being labeled as non-compliant with immigration regulations. This includes the legal obligation to report changes of address within 10 days of moving, as well as updating employment details. Failure to do so can be interpreted as non-cooperation, and you could find yourself in violation of the law. So what is the solution? Always keep your records up to date with USCIS, especially when it comes to changes in your personal details like your address or your employment. The best way to avoid unnecessary trouble is to be proactive about your current situation and your current information. If you are uncertain about your obligations, it's wise to consult with an attorney who can explain your responsibilities and assist in keeping your records in compliance. Number 4, failing to maintain legal immigration status. Under the Trump administration, there has been a crackdown on individuals who fail to maintain legal immigration status. Whether you've been approved for temporary status or you are in the middle of an immigration process, i.e. maybe waiting for a green card, not maintaining that status, whether through neglect, forgetfulness, or lack of awareness, can result in penalties. The administration has been prioritizing deportations, which we have all seen, even for individuals who might have been living in the country without incident for years. The solution? Ensure that you stay in good standing. Make sure that your immigration status is always maintained. If you're in the middle of a legal process or your status is due to expire, work with an attorney to keep your paperwork updated. Also, keep track of deadlines and requirements for your visa or legal process. This will prevent you from inadvertently falling out of compliance and facing negative consequences.
It is always free to send us an email, so please scroll down into the description where you will find our information.
Number 5, engaging in public benefits programs. One of the most controversial changes in immigration policy under the Trump administration has been the public charge rule. Under this rule, immigrants may be denied green cards or visas if they are deemed likely to rely on public benefits such as Medicaid, food stamps, or housing assistance.
The United States today has a population of just over 330 million people.
Many immigrants who might have been eligible for these benefits are now at risk of being penalized if they accept them. So what is the solution? If you are an immigrant, carefully consider the long-term effects of accepting public assistance programs
And establishing themselves in new towns and cities along the eastern seaboard. Comparatively,
consult with us. Feel free to give us a call. It is always free to send us an email. Scroll down into the description below. There may be alternative options for you, and we can provide advice tailored to your specific situation. Number 6, entering the U.S. without proper authorization. In other words,
little over 2 centuries ago, in the year 1800, the population density of the United States
under Trump's administration, crossing the U.S. border without authorization is a key focus of enforcement. The administration has ramped up efforts to apprehend individuals entering the country without proper authorization, and violations related to illegal entry are now subject to more severe penalties, including the possibility of criminal charges, detention, and expedited removal. So what is the solution?
Hi there, my name is Dan and I'm a U.S. Customs and Border National Travelers through CBP.
How are you today?
A law firm, it is important to immediately seek help. There are potential avenues for relief that might be available depending on your specific situation, including asylum, claims, family petitions, or other forms of immigration relief. So please
predominantly
never
European
attempt to cross
settlers
the border without
migrating across the
authorization, as it
Atlantic
can
Ocean
severely
and
damage your chances for future immigration relief. Last but not least, number 7, failing to attend immigration hearings or check-ins with ICE. Another significant issue.
Indian citizens and international visitors traveling on a B1 or B2 visa are eligible to use.
With U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. If you've been granted
There are 2 primary benefits of membership. First, unlike APC kiosk users, GE members typically do not have to present themselves.
This has become a high-risk situation, especially for individuals under TPS, Temporary Protected Status, DACA recipients, or those who are in removal proceedings. So what is the solution? Please attend all of your scheduled immigration hearings or ICE check-ins and keep copies of any documents or receipts from these meetings. If you need to reschedule or if you face complications, reach out and inform us of the situation. Missing an appointment or failing to attend a hearing could result in negative consequences. So it's important to stay compliant. So to recap, we want to make sure that you and your family are safe and protected. Navigating immigration challenges are more complex than ever. Many immigrants are unknowingly breaking laws because they are not fully aware of their rights and of their obligations. However, there are steps you can take to protect yourself and your family. Stay informed. Immigration laws and policies are constantly evolving. Keep yourself informed about changes that might affect your legal standing. follow news, updates from reputable sources, and seek professional advice when needed. Now is a good time to hit the subscribe button down below and give us a thumbs up if this video was helpful. You also want to consult with us. It is always free to send us an email if you have any questions about your specific situation. If you want to confirm that you are compliant with all immigration laws, that could also warrant an email that you send us. If you're unsure about your status or if you face policy violations, so please be proactive about your situation. Always stay on top of deadlines, renewals, and required check-ins. This will help ensure that you're in compliance and avoiding costly mistakes. There are ways to protect yourself and your future in the US, but with the right knowledge and preparedness and support, you can navigate these challenges and continue to build a life for yourself and for your family. Again, scroll down into the description. It is always free to send us an email. If this video was helpful, give us a thumbs up, but don't forget to catch that video right there. It's a great follow-up to this video.